Hey guys, it's Jeff Juices checking in from Japan here in the snowy mountain town of Hakuba. And I wanted to give some tips on how to stay raw in the wintertime. Because a lot of people care about the cooking of their food and they don't want to do it. And I'm one of those people. I've been raw vegan for about 8 years now. I've completely transformed my health. And I've done a lot of investigating on diets, and I've tried almost all of them. And it seems pretty obvious that the one thing every species has in common is that none of them cook their food. And they also don't get the problems that come with cooking of the food. The extreme dehydration and the degeneration. So this video, I'm going to give some tips on how to stay raw in the winter, because I've been here for about a month and a week. And I've also traveled a lot in the wintertime, and I lived in the States when it was cold, and I've been here and I've had no issues being raw. I've been able to find really good produce and zero issues. I haven't even wanted to eat cooked food, not 1%, nothing, zero. And so a lot of people think that you need to eat raw all year round, and I'm one of those people. And regardless of where you live, whether it be in the tropics or in the icy Arctic tundra, I don't think it really matters. I think our optimal food source is still raw food. If you have access to a grocery store, which pretty much everyone does, regardless of where you live, raw food will still be our optimal food. So that doesn't mean that I'm going to judge anybody or anything like that. It doesn't matter. But if you're trying to stay raw, if you care about that aspect of health, then here's some tips. Tip number 1, smoothies are great. Smoothies can help you go a long way. They can help you get calories when you don't have great food. Dates, hemp seeds, nut butters, stuff like that are good calories that can help you go a long way. And so I think getting a good blender and making smoothie bowls, and if you need to leave for the day, make a smoothie to take with you, put it in a 1 liter glass jar or a water bottle or something like that. That's going to be very helpful. Number 2, staying warm. It's so obvious. We're obviously not designed to live in these places, which is why, excuse me, I got to change hands because it's getting cold, which is why we have to dress warm like I'm doing right now. So this honestly should be the first thing. This should be number 1. This should be number 1, really. Dress appropriately. If you're not dressed warm, you're going to get cold, and nobody wants to get cold. And so when you live in the tropics, you don't really have to worry about it. I pretty much live in board shorts and a t-shirt all year round, or a tank top. Most of the time, really not even a shirt. And so, yeah, it's just like wear gloves, wear long johns, wear leggings, wear extra layers. When I go snowboarding, I have a pair of electric boot heaters, and those are very helpful. So dress warm, bring extra layers, bring a puffy, wear a face mask, bring some goggles, keep the wind and the exposure off of your skin, especially if it's very cold. And so that's a big one, is like stay warm. Okay, number 3, if you're going to eat food at your house and you're going to make a smoothie or a cold juice or have produce that's been in the fridge, eat it next to a space heater. That's also going to be very helpful because, like I said, we're not really designed to be in these cold climates. And so obviously, where can humans survive naked? It's only the tropics. That's it. And so, yeah. Hello. And so when you are eating cold food, it helps to be next to a heater. Yeah. The next thing would be let your produce warm up before you eat it. And so if you're only eating food that comes out of the fridge, it's going to be cold. Yeah. So let your food come to room temperature. That's going to be very beneficial, because otherwise your body's going to have to use energy to cool or to warm up that food if you're eating like a smoothie bowl that's cold. Obviously smoothies are a great way to get calories when you don't have great food, but to stay warm, eat room temperature produce. Hello, konnichiwa. And so that would be, what's that? Tip number 4. Yeah. So another one would be to look and spend time shopping for produce. If you live in the tropics, you're going to get great tropical fruit. But if you're in Japan like I've been, it's not going to be tropical fruit. It's going to be other stuff. I've been eating tangerines, apples, oranges, tomatoes, avocados, persimmons, and nuts and seeds. And I think it's okay to lean on nuts and seeds. I've been doing it. I've been hiking a bunch, and so I've been burning hella calories every day, hiking and snowboarding down. And so I've been requiring a lot more calories. And so would I want to do that year round? No. Most cold climates will obviously turn into summer and it'll get warmer. And so on the days when I'm doing these big hikes, I will eat some fruit and I'll have a handful of nuts and some dried fruit. And so that's really helpful to be honest. And I say this for people that have digestion that works. And so I would suggest soaking your nuts and seeds. To be honest, I've been not eating soaked nuts and seeds. But I've learned my lesson for next year. I'm going to come here way more planned out. I'll bring a bunch more pre-soaked nuts and seeds from home, from Bali. And so they'll digest a bit better. But I've had zero issues with my digestion with that. I had a bit of a learning curve when I first got here and a bit of an adjustment period. And my digestion's great now. I feel good. I feel great on the nuts and seeds a bit. Not an entire meal of nuts and seeds, obviously, but I think that those for the extra calories can really help. You can probably do it without the nuts and seeds and a lot of them, but you're going to have a lot more calories. You're going to have to eat more fruit. You might have to get more dried fruit. And if you can get access to like better dates and, stuff like that, it's going to be a lot more... It's going to be a lot more helpful, but dried fruits, awesome. I've been eating dried pineapples and persimmons and dried mangoes and some raisins, and that's been really helpful. And those are the main tips. And I think a lot of people just really need to understand that we're not really designed to live in a place like this. Like, look at this. It's cold everywhere. We don't have fur. I mean, that should be obvious thing number one. We don't have fur on our bodies, so how are we going to stay warm? We're not. The only place that we would survive naked, like all the other species on the planet, is in the tropics. Not even the subtropics, really. We need clothes, And so, I would say if you move to the cold places, that's so dope. Like, I love it here. It's a big part of my life, my prior life. And I'm making some sacrifices, and that would be sun exposure, obviously. And number two, the quality of my food's going to go down. And so when you make those sacrifices, it's totally fine. But in doing that sacrificial move to this cold place, I am gaining the ability to go snowboarding and to play in the mountains every day. And I really think that's really cool. And so, I know a lot of people, my mom included, who live in these cold places, and they do very, very well. No issues. And so those are the main tips. If you do these and follow them, I think you'll be very successful. And if you have a very good reason why, which is optimal health, longevity, and hydration, then you will have a really easy reason how. So good enough reason why, the how becomes easy. So that's it. That's Jeff Juices tuning in from Japan. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below if you like this or if you got any added bonus tips if you live in cold climates. Yep, that's it. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Had to take my glove off.